Right, the US dollar here has moved up firmly. Okay, versus that bearish trend. So it's now well and truly on the front side of that. However, it's broken this bullish cycle with this move, breaking structure over here, right, hitting stops from yesterday's inside day, and we're encroaching on a 50% mean reversion of this impulse here. Right, this looks like it's got some legs though, and we've got an obvious target there of those highs as a potential support. So it looks like there's some more room to go. We've got this candle here that could be engulfed in the next hour or two leading into the Wall Street Open. And if that were to be the case, then if we get down to here, then I'll be looking for a squeeze to the upside. Could be an explosive move on Wall Street. We'll have to monitor these next 2 hours or so. And then, oh, there goes my mouse. And then I expect silver to, bear with me, be looking the same. So similar scenario for silver. So we broke structure here, leaving the bias to the downside longer term, but I mean in anticipation of a correction. We've got this candle in here as potential support. One, two, three, 5 days of shorts in the market there. So just ahead of this support area, we're getting a steady correction to the upside here. So the 38.2 aligns with that candle's low. Obvious target to the upside for the meanwhile. Okay. Looks like we're creeping higher. And a textbook scenario would be something like this. For a test into this demand area. So up to come down. So with the I'm being asked cable here, so sterling dollar, same scenario here. Look, we're correcting here. We've already hit a 38.2 correction. But we're right into last month's and last week's lows. So we broke this weekly structure over here. So the bias is lower overall. bearish trend, break of structure, engulfment pretty much, strong momentum there. However, coming into this candle here is potential support. Pull this across. So potential demand area here that we're moving into. Again, last week's lows, potential failed breakout, correction to the upside. 125.90 is probably a key resistance in that respect, given that being last a low on the 29th of June. It's actually broken structure. Prospects of a correction to the upside for the immediate future. It's trying to. That's quite a firm correction here. Perhaps we've seen the low for the time being. We're going to see a grind up, perhaps. This candle here is potential support in that respect. This one here. Now these yields are pretty strong, aren't they? Strong move up. Coming back from holiday, the bond market was closed on Monday. So keeping an eye on that 10-year yield that's see what goes on there. So essentially keeping an eye on this dollar. This is high up to start the day, in the day's range. I mean, I expect there to be some exhaustion here. We're in the third session, right, so I've just pulled up the sessions indicator. So as you can see, we've had Tokyo, London, big move up, high up in the US Open. I mean, that's crying out for a move lower, isn't it? A squeeze into all that length. So plenty of potential trade opportunities here today, guys, I'd say. 3 sessions of drop so far. Bullish squeeze. Same with cable. So with dollar CAD, I mean, we've consolidated to the right and we're starting to inch lower. Same with dollar yen as well, not quite. Dollar yen is still moving up into last week's highs. I'll be looking for some sideways activity and a move lower. And I don't believe we've got anything particularly key on the calendar, so it's free reign for us. We don't need to watch out for any problematic news events. Later on tonight, more Aussie news in gross domestic product. So let's have a look at the Aussie at the moment. Again, potential for a move up, testing last month's lows. So I would say we could be in for a bit of a ride around the Wall Street Open. Okay, looking to buy low versus the dollar. Across the board, really, guys. So I think that's quite a short one for today. Any questions? Any crosses that I might be missing, such as the euro yen? Look at that. What's going on over there? Euro yen could be set up for a move lower. We're breaking structure over here with that wick. Strong move down, correction up into potential resistance for a continuation to the downside. Day 1, day 2, day 3. In the 3-day cycle, resistance over here. Let's try and mark that up. So come up into resistance. Peak formation, break of structure, move back up, impulse, correction, continuation to the downside. Low hanging fruit below the lows, all into these longs over here. Target Monday's lows, stops below. There's quite a lot here on the board, guys, to be monitoring for the Wall Street Open. That's a broken down market. Okay, what would be ideal today to trade? Well, I think the majority of the currencies versus the dollar. So the higher this comes, the more likely we're going to get a setup for the Wall Street Open. I keep an eye on this level where that candle is formed as potential support. But a break below that, I think we're happy days all the way into Friday's highs, really, down at 103.92. Having said that, I mean, who's to know? I mean, this could continue going up and up and up, but I'll be, set ready for a squeeze on this movement in the other currencies. So, being asked what trade would you take today, whatever sets up the cleanest, the pair that looks the most obvious, what I'll be looking for instance, in euro dollar, I'll be looking for the price here to peter out, 3 pushes into the low, and a move up in the Wall Street Open. So we've got 1 push below this break of structure, a correction, getting another push at the moment, looking for a correction, another push, and then signs that the downside has been done, and then bullish price action to jump in on to ride up for the short squeeze. Same would be said against all the other currencies. Now with the stocks here, however, if we're going to get a weaker dollar, we should see stronger stocks. But these two are high up on the day. So we'll have to wait and see how things set up. The closer we get to 9:30, guys, the better prospects we're going to get of a trade setup. At the moment, it's choppy, there's movement, there's nothing really set up at the moment. But think things are getting set up for us for later around the Wall Street Open. Right here, you see we're pushing through what last week's highs. So in doing so, we're dragging higher time frame traders and breakout traders to the upside, and usually we get the squeeze in the opposite direction in such a scenario. So again, on the euro dollar, looking for longs. So let's see how things pan out. That's not to say, guys, that this can't continue lower, that the dollar can't continue going up and up and up. But I like to counter trend these moves. Euro dollar is still on the front side of the bear trend, so we need to see a break in structure. At the moment, the break in structure would be above this candle here, 107.38. So break of structure, moving on to the other side of this bear trend, looking for bullish structure over here to ride up. Okay, guys, so that was a pretty short one today because there's not much more to go on really. We've got these nice moves, 3 sessions of drop in the euro dollar in cable, 3 sessions of rise in dollar CAD, dollar yen, Aussie dollar on the downside. I'll put that on the watch list. It's not even on my watch list at the moment. It should be. There you go. There she goes. Fits in to here. All right, guys. Any further questions? If not, we'll wrap it up and we'll roll up our sleeves and start just keep monitoring the price action as we get towards Wall Street. And let's see if this dollar starts to peter out. And if it does, it starts consolidating. That's a good indication that we're going to get setups versus the other currencies. Okay, sterling yen being asked. Right, sterling yen. Let's go to a weekly chart and go from the top down. Right, so we're sort of at support here. We've come up, pulled back, we've broken. Well, actually, these are the highs there, so we'll mark that as support. So with this bullish impulse over the last, what was this? This was back in early August. Strong impulse, breaking resistance, topping out. Well, we've come into this sort of order block over here on the monthly chart and stalled. So we're starting to stall in resistance on a longer term time frame. Pullbacks have been supported at that old high pretty much. We're yet to pull back to the 38.2, so prospects of a continuation to the downside in that respect. Lower highs over the last few weeks. Will this week prints another lower high? And if so, will we break these lows? So to me, looks as though we're sort of consolidating here. Weekly chart, at least. Again, on the daily chart as well. Sideways action. No real bias either way at the moment. We're forming a box, and this would be. I'd expect a breakout one way or the other, obviously. Prospects of a move, continuation higher, but again, that 38.2 hasn't been met yet. And then for the immediate future, yeah, I haven't really got any bias in this, I'm afraid. Resistance here, testing support at the moment. So it's dropped down heavily, we've pulled back. If this continues to hold, then the prospects are for a continuation lower. Probably dragging traders to the downside and moving towards the 38.2 back in. Who knows? But there's nothing really jumping out at me on this one. Being asked for JP 225. Front side of the bullish trend. Again, nothing jumping out here for me. Finding support. Some impulse correction prospects for continuation up. If we get that continuation up, you'll have a W formation, and that will be a weight into support, which is current resistance at the moment. Resistance up here. So prospects of, so we've got this correction, bullish impulse. If I measure the correction, the minus 272 marries up pretty neatly with that potential resistance. So impulse, correction, continuation to the upside perhaps. Okay guys, gonna wrap it up there. I wish you a very good day ahead. May the markets go with you, and we'll catch up a bit later on in the chat room. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it.